You're listening to the Integrated Business Planning Podcast.
Maybe understanding, your perspective on, where you see things going with data decision making and all the data out there, and just a perspective.
Yeah. So when I got brought to Montreal, so it was partly to finish the work I'd started with the Alice Swiss acquisition and the synergies programs, and the other part of it was changing the way we did budgeting. So I guess like a lot of companies up to that point, our sort of budgeting was an accounting process, right? So all the accountants around the world would send in a budget that was essentially in the format that we did our accounting. But accounting is done in a format that's for compliance with GAAP. It's in a format that's for, compliance with financial reporting standards and what the auditors or the SEC expects to see. But your budget is supposed to be there for your management team, right? And you don't publish your budget. So why were you collecting it in a way that looked like a published document? And part of the reason is when accountants are in charge of things, we like to do things properly, with controls in place. And one of the controls we have is we like to compare actuals against budget, right? And we sort of say, is that okay? But particularly in commodities businesses, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you leave the accountants to gather data and manage the data, we end up turning everything into an accounting exercise. But budgets are supposed to be a management exercise. So we changed that, and we initially we thought we'd try and find a way to do that accounting exercise more efficiently. Nothing against Hyperion, but because we used Hyperion for our consolidation system, we bring in all this data. And if you didn't bring in all the data into Hyperion, it would fill in the gaps.
I remember that. I remember those days. Yeah.
Right. So, you'd end up with sort of really weird looking numbers in your budgets because you had to do it with the same rigor as you would do your monthly accounting. Well, that's not what the plan is about, right? So initially we thought we'll do that in a system that was at that time called a datum. Then Cognos bought it, and then IBM bought Cognos. Yeah. You've been in the business too long, Lance. You know all these.
Cognos planning, a datum, Cognos planning. That was
yeah.
Continue on connecting dots. So that's all.
Yeah, no, it was an exciting tool. Like it was good fun. It was an interesting project. But then we realized we're still doing the wrong thing. So we're doing the wrong thing a better way, but it's still the wrong thing. And actually we managed to change, and part of the idea was also we wanted to move from an annual budget to a 6-quarter forecast. And part of that is, again, accountants, we like to talk about an annual budget because we do annual financial statements. But the business doesn't start on the 1st of January and stop on the 31st of December, particularly in smelters. Like they are running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's no start and stop. So when you put in these things, and you have to for legal reasons, tax reasons, whatever, but that's not how the business operates. So we said, wait, let's do a 6-quarter forecast. We'll try and get people to stop racing towards the year end. Because that's the other thing. And I remember that particularly I mentioned earlier, I did the audit of Surrey County Council. When I was at KPMG, we did an audit of Surrey County Council. And it's like 30% of their costs were in the last month of the year. Because people would look at their budgets and go, oh, geez, I didn't spend my budget. If I don't spend it, I'll lose it and I won't have it next year.
Yeah.
Buy 10 million pencils. Right? Or whatever it was, right? Just go out there and spend the budget. So we're trying to get people away from that idea of racing towards the year end. Like that's not, again, it's not what our customers want. It's not what our investors want. Like they want a longer mindset. So we're moving to a 6-quarter rolling forecast, so that we're constantly, moving out 18 months instead of racing towards that shortened year-end period where we've got to spend the money or make the profit. Didn't always work brilliantly. Like at one point, we still got into that thing of racing towards the year end because we'd made a commitment to the public about how much free cash flow we were going to generate, and it didn't look good. So like everyone was focused on trying to get that, and it was dumb. Like our customers were confused, our suppliers were confused. Like, why are you sending me this different message in December?
Why are you not paying me? Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you trying to pay me in? Like I'll pay you at the end of the month.
Yeah, why are you not paying me? And then
yeah,
our customers as well, like we'd offer them discounts to pay early. And then they said, well, if you can afford a discount, let's maintain a lower price throughout the year. No. So we made that mistake once, and then we didn't do it again. But we ended up getting away from that data collection exercise, and we really cut it down. We said, look, whatever you have to do locally, in some places you have to do a budget, right? Because the tax authorities expect you to pay your profit tax in installments during the year. So you have to project how much profit you think you're going to make, and then you pay your tax on it, and then you find out whether you made that profit and true up your tax figure. So some places locally you had to do that, but globally we didn't have to. And so globally we said, look, don't do that. We don't need to collect all this data. And we got it down to like, 25 numbers. So instead of doing the entire chart of accounts, all the way through every budget center, every cost center, every profit center, we just said, let's collect up these much smaller set of numbers. And it turns out keeping it really simple and agile, I don't mean agile in the technical sense, but keeping it simple but easily adjusted, was probably more accurate than collecting loads of data but having it be kind of stuck in Hyperion, where we couldn't flex for changes in foreign exchange, we couldn't flex for changes in oil price, we couldn't flex for changes in the aluminium price. And if you're an aluminium business and you're the second biggest aluminium business in the world, and you can't flex for changes in the price of your commodity, it's problematic. Right? So by simplifying it, really simplifying it, getting it right down to like, what are the key things that are really going to drive all this, and then adding on this ability to flex the numbers, we found we were every bit as accurate or more accurate than when we had this giant data sucking exercise.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Integrated Business Planning Podcast. I'm Lance Tyler, founder of ActionKPI, and I'm on a mission to help finance and business professionals find a clear path to achieving higher levels of productivity and financial performance to help transform their companies. We've recently launched an FP&A accelerator program, where we'll work with you and your team to benchmark the current state of FP&A in your organization. We'll offer training and enablement on our integrated profitability solution, allowing you to get hands-on. And finally, we'll collaborate with you on a business case or ROI to start your journey, all with no obligation. If you're interested in learning more about the FP&A Accelerator Program, please visit us at actionkpi.com, FP&A Program. Thank you.